Identity rights are very important, for instance, to determine whether the crime of genocide has been committed. And for me, I offer as an example, well, a sad historical moment which happened in my part of the world, in Southeast Asia. This happened in Cambodia between 1976 and 78, when the Khmer Rouge took over, a Maoist group which was determined to create a classless society and started exterminating groups which did not fit their model. If you look at journalistic accounts, it's often referred to as the genocide in Cambodia, the killing fields. But if you look at the actual criminal charges filed later on in the special tribunal created to try the leaders of the Khmer Rouge, genocide was just one of the charges, and it was actually rather specific. In other words, of the millions who were killed, and of the many crimes that were charged, war crimes, crimes against humanity, murder, torture, rape through the forced marriages, when it came to genocide, it was just a genocide against the Vietnamese population living in Cambodia and the Cham minority. They were typically a Muslim minority living in Cambodia. And the reason is, it is not enough to say that there were millions of victims, which is the typical notion of what genocide is. Genocide is defined in terms of the way the group is classified, the identity of the group. There are actually 4 categories consistently identified in both the Genocide Convention and also in the Rome Statute. The following groups are singled out: those who are targeted should be religious groups, racial groups, ethnic groups, and national groups. Groups based on the country from which they originated. So that will include the Vietnamese victims, and the Cham will fall under, basically ethnic identity. And so even if you look at eventually, the crimes for which, in particular, 2 of the leaders were convicted, they were quite careful to say that, for instance, the persecution of the Buddhists, that will be persecution on the basis of religion. But apparently, the monks were not killed, so it wasn't genocide. But on the other hand, for the Cham minority, who were decimated during the Khmer Rouge regime, they were targeted based on their ethnic identity, and they were actually killed. And that is the heart of the definition of genocide.